All right.
Let's get them.
Boom.
Let's get it.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Sankofa Sessions with Kofi and Kofi.
What's going on?
I am Kofi Anon.
I'm just
here with
Deuce. I'm gonna keep on rolling with it too, man, because you know.
Deuce / Kofi D.
Why not?
And yeah, today we got a packed stage here today. We got two guests that are joining us to have a conversation about spoken word and storytelling within the Black community and some of the traditions, how that's been passed on over time. Our first guest is Charlene Riley, and she's accompanied by Khalil Houston. And,
welcome y'all to the show. Welcome.
Appreciate y'all joining us.
Man, look, I'm glad to be here, man. Honestly, it's always good.
It's been wild already.
This is gonna be a good episode.
I've never anticipated.
It's gonna be a great episode.
More.
Don't be shy now. You told me some things. You told me some. No. Oh, you want to get shy from the camera now? Let it roll. Let it roll. I'm talking about let it all hang out. You feel me? But we gonna. Hey, look. The good thing is when two people are of equal skill, they can recognize and be like, you know what? That's my match right there. So shout out to you. Appreciate it.
Hey, I love that.
Hey, you know what?
A worthy adversary. I love that.
Yeah, worthy adversary, right? A good sparring partner.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
That.
But before we get started in this, we got to shout out our sponsor, Resist Booksellers down here in Petersburg, Virginia. I've been saying it for many times. You've been saying it, and I think they just experienced this beautiful bookstore. Maybe not for the first time. I think y'all been here before.
This is my first time.
First time. So guess what? You got to come back. The goal is to buy a book a month from this man. I think y'all can commit to that.
Today.
You bought a record?
I did.
So we need to make a pledge to buy one item a month from the good brother Demetrius to support this beautiful bookstore. We buy a lot of other things, right?
The best bookstore I've been to.
Yeah, we bet on parlays.
Yeah, parlays.
We
yeah,
gamble.
Yeah.
We support professional sports.
Shout out to the Miami Heat that's down by 2 right now, and my parlay is hurting, but it's okay, right?
All right.
Hey, it might be hell on earth, but we all right.
We all right.
But
we all right.
Shout out to Resist Booksellers, right? Hey, you go to Amazon, why not buy here? Also, Modern Man Photography, the best videographer, best side of the Mississippi, I think. You're the best, like on the whole East Coast.
On the side of the
Mississippi, yeah. That is right. But that's how good he is, though.
Oh well.
So hire him.
No, I'm gonna definitely get your information.
Yeah,
man.
see, we already making plugs and contacts already. But my brother, we got a really lively topic today, right?
Yes. So before we get into it, let me go ahead and read off the bios for our guests here.
I like this setup where you read the bios. Go ahead.
We got to read. All right, so gotta read. Charlene Riley, she is the chairwoman of the Blk Virginia Theatre Alliance. Focuses on art, advocacy, including playwriting, acting, singing, and dancing. Also serves as the hub coordinator for Center for Common Ground, which is a nonprofit geared towards voting and voting education. As part of her activism, she also works with youth in schools and communities, helping them to bridge the gaps between the people and their needs. Welcome
Thank
again.
you.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
You know what?
Good stuff.
It's busy work, but I love it, and I'm doing what I love, so it don't feel like work. Except when I meet people who don't share the same passions as I do as far as serving the community. Because one thing, I notice a lot of organizations, they do things to, it's performative. And it's not really rooted in love. It's not rooted in well-being. It's not, it's not rooted in.
It's not grassroots.
Yeah, it's not.
Right. They're just doing it because of the position or maybe an image it portrays instead of actually doing it for the original cause, which is helping out the people.
Crazily, I said earlier, the reason why a lot of things are not really going for people like how they wanted to go, because a lot of them, they do things for praise and glory. And it really don't belong to them in that way, in that sense. But it gets weird though. It gets weird.
Well, we're gonna get into all that. Let me also just take a moment to read off my man Khalil's bio.
Shout out to Khalil.
Khalil Houston is a writer, spoken word artist, and entrepreneur from the South Side of Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Throughout his career, Khalil has reached significant milestones as a performing artist. He has also showcased his work at universities across the country, collaborated on EPs, led community workshops, and competed in national poetry competitions. Khalil earned his bachelor's degree in English from Virginia Commonwealth University with a concentration in creative Black literature. Welcome, brother.
Go Rams, go Rams.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And is one of the dopest spoken word artists.
Oh,
and
man.
I could attest to that.
Wow.
Like if you hear this dude perform, man, everything is just really just.
You gonna have to send us an
brilliant.
invite. We're gonna have to pull up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Please,
absolutely
please.
brilliant. So
I appreciate you.
appreciate both y'all taking time to come on the program.
Yeah, take that little drive down 95, come down to Petersburg, hang out with
Why you
us.
gotta be giving out our location?
Because they already know we in Petersburg, you know.
How do you know we don't got people waiting on us outside? Like, you don't know.
I mean, if you have those type of problems,
yeah, you need to let us.
yeah,
know.
you need to let us know ahead of time.
But we don't know.
Okay, well, I
We don't
mean,
know.
if you had them type of problems, right, you might be in the heat of the night. I don't know.
Oh, and I am. The trumpets is wall to wall, baby. They wall to wall.
That's good.
Yeah, hey, look, I gotta tie it in. You gotta tie it in. You know, it's tied in. It is great though. But thank you for coming. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
Right,
for sure, for sure.
You know, and can I say this before we get started? I love, you know, back in the day, I grew up here, right? I grew up in Petersburg. There used to be this little silent. I grew up in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. There used to be this little tension between Richmond and Petersburg, and now I love it because we go between the cities like it's nothing.
Yeah. That's how it was
Yeah.
South Side and North Side. Like in the early, I'm gonna say I was born in 95.
Okay.
So
yeah, you know.
Yeah, so it's like you couldn't even go to North Side by yourself, for whatever reason. Like in terms of conflict,
Yeah, like it's crazy because I remember, right, before we get started, everybody who was in Richmond used to come down to Alzena's. Right, I'm from that area, and then we used to go up to Club Boss or Club 534 because we didn't want to see the same, girls and stuff around here. All the Colonial Heights and Prince George, all them places. So we used to party with each other, but everybody was like, "Oh no, I ain't going up there." But we would go up there for certain reasons. But I love that, like now it's nothing. We go around and move around
30 minutes.
within reason, within reason, like it's nothing. So we able to just get stuff done and collaborate because that wasn't always the case.
No, it wasn't.
So welcome, and I'm not gonna say your exact location. I promise, right? 'Cause I don't want no problems. So my brother, what we got?
Yeah. So I mean, just to kind of set the foundation here a little bit, like if both of you could kind of give us your opinion as to like what storytelling has meant for the Black culture, the diaspora throughout history. Just from like a significant standpoint, in a big picture way.
That's a loaded question. I would start with I think spoken word, and I might be a little biased, but I think spoken word is probably like the most rawest form of art when it comes to just creation, right? Because when we go back in like human history, right? Okay. This is the ability to learn how to speak, right? To communicate within itself was monumental. And that ability was like, passed down from, family to family, Homo sapien to Homo sapien, whatever the case may be, right? So it's like when we fast forward to African, to the African roots of like, oral tradition and things like that, I think when we cross and compare like the idea of like speaking and being able to communicate to large crowds, that's like very important. Like, cause I can say that public speaking is probably one of the number one fear, right? And we've been public speaking for eons, right? It's a part of how we communicate. It's a part of how we build community. It's a part of how we solve problems, politics, even disputes, right? I'm going on a tangent right now, but like even when we go, we talk about the griot, the record keeping of African culture, right? That was a big responsibility in certain African cultures, right? It wasn't something like, that was like, you working at Tropical Smoothie or something like that. Yeah. But it was a very important role that was passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah, so the griot, and correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, he was like the historian of that community.
Absolutely, he was the historian. He was the record keeper. He kept the heart intact. He or she, right? But yeah, from my perspective, I think spoken word is probably like the rawest form of like Black cultural expression.
Anything you want to add to that?
Well, I will say historically, just with the distribution of African people through different parts of the world, storytelling is very important because, with the transition here, it was a language change, a cultural change. It was just a lot of big, significant changes coming about. So a lot of history of I wouldn't say the old world, but the time before they got here, of course, was not even allowed to be spoke about. And just to go back to what you were saying, just like in the past with the oral historians, their jobs was very important, and not every civilization just appointed that job to anyone. And for one, it had to be someone that was trustworthy, someone who they knew that could keep an actual record of it, and just it's more so a honorary position, and what it means. I mean, and I know, like for myself and my family, it's very important because I know I can go all the way back to my family as like 1800s just from storytelling. So very important in the diaspora, because as we spread all throughout the continent, we still hold on to those things. Now, what society and what those norms allow you to practice cannot negate what you know, and because you don't argue with people about what you know.
Right.
If I know this, I can't, you don't argue about what you know. So it's very important because it gives you a sense of course, yourself and to know who you are, but also a sense of belonging because you have a oral you have an oral record of where you come from. So that's powerful in itself.
And I kind of feel like, especially for the people in the diaspora who were not allowed to read or write, like storytelling and music and all of that was part of how we passed on the stories and our traditions and things like that. Is how we kept our history, alive, because we were prevented from having written history.
Even if you look at Negro spirituals, even if you look at braid patterns, slaves used to braid escape ropes in their hair. Like the innovation of Blacks people it just will never amaze. I'm ceased. Like it's always something that amazes me because the way they was just working so hard to even still have their own celebrations and their own traditions and their own customs. Like I met this lady, she used to drive my sister on the school bus, and she was telling us about how her family was like from the deep country and stuff like that, and a lot of them like were not educated. They did not go to school. But she was like, every time they used to go to bed and before they used to eat and they used to pray and stuff, they used to make ablutions like Muslims. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, how y'all know that? But they didn't necessarily know what they were doing or why they were doing it. They just know that was something that they just did in their family. They did it before bed. They did it before they ate. They did it when they woke up. They just know that that's a tradition to practice. Now, I don't think she had the history as to how they came to that. But so even when I imagine stuff like that, and even just bringing up like my own family's background, like my grandma used to sharecrop and my grandmother didn't go to school, and it's just a lot of history like that. My grandmother was born in a very small town, maybe like 400 and some people in the whole town. And she's from a real small town called Littleton, North Carolina. It's probably like maybe 1,100 some people now in like present day time. Very small. To the point that they were still, I'm not going to say in slavery, but you could say like a low form of slavery all the way up until like 1962. So very important, very important. And actually earlier today I was just kind of like on Ancestry, just digging around just to see what I can see, because my grandmother never spoke much about her life. I mean, we knew that she was raised on a farm and stuff like that. We knew she didn't go to school, but she never went into detail about her life, her upbringing. You know, not even much about her father or even her mother. So I'm just so interested into knowing, like, what helped shape you into the person that I knew. Yeah. Like, what experiences made this for you?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get into all that.
And I mean, little sidebar here, but just related to what you've been saying. Like, so I'm actually planning my family's first family reunion for next year. First time we've had it. And just in the planning process alone, we're like finding out so much stuff about our family. Like, I honestly didn't even understand my whole grandmothers, and like it's such a complicated web of siblings and, you know, different marriages. And I'm like, we named the name of the family reunion is Kilkenny Andrews. Didn't even know who the Andrews was up until we just decided, because it just kind of came out from this conversation. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's what I'm saying. Like, it's very powerful just being able to pass on these things through tradition, and the fact that some of these things weren't even written down, and you know, so yeah, it's some powerful stuff.
If I could, I think, and I would love to hear you guys' opinion on this, right? I think, especially in our culture, among the diaspora as a whole, the spoken word is so powerful because we use it in times of trauma and stress. You know, just a little bit about my background. My family from Ghana, Africa, and one of the things, especially during the Ashanti Anglo War, was like when the British were fighting the Ashanti tribe in Ghana, they had certain chants they would say to give them power. Right? There's certain, like, my dad used to talk to me about Anansi the spider, right? About the lessons about that. Like, I think one of the things that we have to remember is that those words and those stories that were passed down to us just weren't memory, but they had a meaning and a power behind it. How do you feel about that? Like, do you all, in modern day and being in, you know, arts and literature and stuff, do you look to pass on those powerful messages as well in your art?
Yeah, I think for me, like, one of the main reasons why I got into spoken word, just a quick segue, I lost my brother to a triple homicide when I was 11 years old.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I lost my brother, my oldest brother, my second oldest cousin, and my boy ran into a triple homicide, right? And when trauma hits the family, the children are forgotten a lot of times, right? And the only thing that kept me sane, or the only thing that I can use to reclaim my power, was writing. Right? Like, writing was my way of leaving my fingerprint on something, even if the identity of my family is fractured right now. Right? So just in my personal life, like, I have moved mountains and transformed my identity and started my own healing process through the art of spoken word. Right? And just to go back to, like, you know, in the times of slavery, you know, our ancestors used to sing songs to communicate when we were meeting, to rather escaping, planning.
I love a code.
We spoke in code, right? It was a lot of way by the water. You know what I mean? That's literally a signal or a passage to escape within itself, right? So yeah, like, we brought that from home. Right, like that's just a part of our DNA of how we connect to ourselves and the cosmos, you know. Like, but yeah.
What about you?
Well, for myself personally, I know this is gonna sound crazy, y'all. This is gonna sound crazy, but sometimes in my free time, I spend a lot of time at the cemetery, and where I live, in the area I live, it's a lot of prominent people buried in the cemetery. People like John Marshall, Elizabeth Van Lew, just random notable Richmond figures. But when I look at their graves and when I think about their legacy or what they left behind, it kind of makes me say, okay, well, I want to leave a different legacy or a different memory behind. And I would like for my work and what I'm doing to just represent something else. Because regardless of how you live your life, when you die, that's basically what people gonna remember you. It could be good, it could be bad. Now, me personally, I would like for it to be good. I know some people it's not always gonna be good because hey, but I think about legacy and what am I leaving behind. Like, for example, when I look at John Marshall grave and I think about how, the racial impact y'all had, even like in the city. You know what I'm saying? Even if you think about George Washington and how he fought so hard during the Revolutionary War to keep blacks in slavery while he wore the teeth of his slave that he owned. So when you think about like Trump and MAGA, and they don't want us to learn Black history, but they're literally actively taking our struggles and trying to relate it to their racism and hatred. It's like you gotta be immersed in this history and stuff, and you gotta kind of know it know what you to really witness what you're seeing. Because the same history they don't want taught in schools, they trying to flip it and use it for their advantage. So it's so many little things like that. But once again, for me, it goes back to legacy. What legacy are you leaving behind? When you lay down, how are people gonna remember you?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, can I add on?
Of course.
No, I was about to add on this, like, in terms of like the oral tradition, right? When I look back, because there's an old saying that goes, "There's nothing new in the bloodline."
There's nothing new in the bloodline.
Right, and
that's so true.
My brother that was murdered was an MC, and an artist within itself, right? And I remember when I was younger, I don't know. It's like, I think things are kind of just given to you when you're born.
I believe that.
I believe that. I think because I can't remember a time where I was actively trying to figure out how to write. It just came naturally, right? So it was moments where I would like write something, or I would say something when he was alive, of course, and he'd be like, "Oh snap! Like, you said that," whatever the case may be, and. I think like when we talk about like the oral tradition within itself, I think like this might sound crazy, but I think that's a spiritual gift that's given. I don't think that's something that's like you can necessarily develop. Right. Like you could develop it to a limitation, but I think like certain people are just like they just sent, man. Like I when I think of like Saul Williams. Right? When I think of Sonia Sanchez, when I think of Maya, when I think of even in today's climate, right, in modern spoken word, right, Ayanna Florence, Roscoe, Breeze, like I can go on and on about the names, and it's just like I always tell people, like it's levels to things. Like sometimes people just don't have to work as hard to gain something, right? So just to add to the conversation.
No, that's a good point. I mean, I think one thing that we as a culture overall, and people may look down on this or whatever, but I think there's a supernatural power when it comes to our oral traditions, because we needed special powers to get through certain parts of our history. Yeah. Right?
And we still need them today.
We still need them today. Absolutely. So I think that can't be undersold. That can't be undersold at all of the power that spoken word and oral tradition played. Yeah, we can't. You want to bring us back in, Kofi?
Bring us back in. You done started.
Yeah, you started. Hey, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, I'm messing with you though. What? It's okay.
You know what? I think you are very entertaining.
Like, likewise.
This could really work.
Likewise. Are you saying we should do a spinoff?
Hey, look.
I can see it. I can see it.
Wow. I'm flattered.
I'll tune in.
I'm flattered. We can put it on Tubi. I'm all for Tubi.
I love a good Tubi movie.
Yeah.
Tubi need to stop though. Side note.
No, they don't.
Tubi need to cut it out.
No, they don't.
Because I'm talking about, oh my God, they need your help, sir. That's what it is. They need your help.
Look, go home and write a poem about a Tubi movie and email it to me. I want to go over it.
Before we go back into the serious topic though, right? You were born in 95, so you might remember this. There was a show probably around 2011, 2012, since y'all from, the capital city of Virginia.
The capital of the Confederacy.
Well, now you told people again where you lived at, but okay.
No, you said, that's why I'm from.
Go ahead.
Right? There was a show called The Real Baby Mamas of Richmond.
Oh,
damn.
On CW, I mean, it was on Comcast, the local channel. You know what I'm talking about.
Why are you pointing at me?
Because I used to look at the show.
Why are you pointing at me?
So look,
it was a show. You remember that? So you talk about Tubi quality. That just brought that back. I used to watch that show.
Hold on, not too much though.
Okay.
Not too much.
Okay.
On the Real Baby Mamas of Richmond, and shout out to them. Because they was.
I enjoyed that show. I'm not joking. They were. It was a local reality show. I'm not downing it.
Watch it. I haven't
go back. It's on YouTube now, and I ain't
watching it.
I was.
I'm talking about him.
I was down in Norfolk. I used to live in Norfolk. I was down there watching. You should.
I'm not.
Okay. I mean, hey,
I'm gonna watch it.
So can I ask you all this, right? Do you think that storytelling among the diaspora, right, here, continent, Caribbean, everything else, do you think it's been diminished because there's been so much pushed out? Because think about it now, right? Before we used to have 1 or 2 avenues to push things out, right? It might have been just theaters or it might have been straight to VHS. Now we got multiple streaming services, right? I remember in the 90s, right? People used to go to the movie theater to see these black movies because it was a reflection. It was a rare occurrence. And it was an authentic reflection of life. And you only got so many opportunities, right?
That's it.
So I want to ask you guys, because this conversation is relevant to what you were saying. Do you feel like now it's been watered down and the message is not there anymore?
It's 50-50.
How so?
50-50 for me is like, again, it's a talent. Like, storytelling is a talent, right? And I'm for everybody having a voice, everybody having an opportunity to share whatever they're creating. But I think we are lacking mentorship in the arts community. And I've seen this in the poetry community. I've seen this in the hip hop community. Like, it's nothing wrong with telling your homeboy that he can't rap. Like, I think the best thing that you can do for him is to tell him the truth. Right? In terms of how he needs to develop what he needs to work on, right?
Even if that's getting a 9 to 5 and quit his dreams, right?
Say it again?
I said, even if it is getting a 9 to 5 and quitting his dreams, like, hey man, this ain't gonna work for you.
Right. I'm saying like, like at the end of the day, bro, get back in the lab. Right? And I think when we talk about like movies or just putting out art, right? I think there has to be a funnel system put in place a little bit better.
Do you think Tyler Perry's a good storyteller?
Why you had to ask that question?
I had to bring it up because he's controversial.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I'm on the side where
don't lose our sponsorship.
So
unless he's gonna sponsor it.
So here's it. So look,
I'm just saying.
But as of right now,
right,
I can't watch a Tyler Perry movie.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this, right? I watched this documentary. And after I watched this documentary, his movies made sense.
Okay.
The documentary about, did y'all see that?
Nah, I seen the Boondocks episode.
It was the documentary where, like, pretty much where he described his upbringing. And his upbringing was rooted in pain and trauma. And that's his movies is based in trauma. It's based in a lot of pain. It's based in a lot of like, what the hell is going on? Like, even when we look at the what's the other movie with Taraj?
Man, don't give me this.
Ain't she in all of them?
No, y'all are terrible.
It's the last Netflix movie. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't even. Once Netflix lost Charm, The Power of Three, they lost me. I haven't been on Netflix in about 4 years.
So I think it's called. Well, it's this movie about like DVDs. Taraj. She's pretty much like.
I got Hulu and other.
She's pretty much like she's this
Max,
single.
like
she's this single mother, right? And she's a single black mama, and she's pretty much like
about.
Yeah.
That movie that everybody was laughing at on the internet. I had never seen it.
I won't laugh. It was just
trauma.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been accused of basically selling trauma porn.
Right. And I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
But hold on. Hold on. Is it false though?
I never said it was false. So
now I know it might be bad writing. I know it's bad hair and bad wigs, and sometimes bad acting. But is it a lie though?
I'm saying that I feel like it has to be diversity in the writing. Like we have to include the good things about like the Black experience. And I don't think Tyler Perry does that well.
I don't think he's interested. I think he has a brand.
Yeah, he has a brand. He has a
brand. He has his core audience.
Yeah.
And he caters to his core audience.
Because a lot of people like the movie. A lot of people was like, that was like, for me, like Acrimony was a horror movie for me. Like it was, nothing good. Like, nothing good about that movie in terms of like, it was good in terms of being entertaining, but it wasn't. I was like, yo, like, what do I do with this? Like, what do I do with, like, what do I, and I think where I'm at in my life, I ask myself the question, when something is given to me, like, what can I do with what was given to me?
That's a good question. So you're not just consuming content for the sake of consuming content.
Man, because
But one thing I am going to say, to go back to what you were saying, and just about what you were saying too, because we have other ways to get art and stuff out. Black Americans' evolution in this country, it's been kind of steady, but now if you look at art, culture, media, TV, stuff like that, we kind of went through that phase already where we weren't allowed in certain pictures. We couldn't be on TV. We wasn't in the music, or even we could be on a song, but they'll get somebody else in the video to mouth what we're saying. So historically, because we have been through those things, and I'm not going to say that the Black people are in the best condition, but it's a better condition, because if you think about movies like what we was talking about, even if you look at like pictures like Jason lyrics and stuff like that, a lot of those people, now don't get me wrong, Black people still making 17 times less than their counterparts with the same educational background and things like that, but it's a little bit different for us now because we're not working all those steady low wage paying jobs. We're not just custodians no more. We're out of the low wage jobs, and we have degrees, we have businesses. So of course the entertainment is gonna evolve, because it's like we're not the butt of the jokes no more. Because even in a lot of those pictures that had Black actors, it was white writers. So now it's
point.
like, yeah, this is a Black story, but it could have been a white author, a white writer, a white production team. So now that we still have struggles, but we're not struggling at the rate we was when a lot of those pictures was out. Like, even if you look at moments like Color Purple and stuff like that, all factual events that Black women went through in this country, but we just in a different time now. Well, we still have issues and things that we need to work on as a whole, but it's not as bad as it was when we was trying to like break into theater, mainstream art, and movies and things like that.
I wanted to say make this last point about Tyler Perry, right? The last movie that I really enjoyed, but I can't watch it again, is for Color Girls, right? And for me, there was a lot of wisdom that was put in that movie, but the trauma effect in it, like, I could never just up and watch that joint again. Like, there's a rape scene in there, like, that's triggering for me, you feel me? Like, so it's just like, it's one of them things, yeah.
It's just part of his brand. Like,
it is. And he does it well.
He does it well. He knows his audience.
He does it well.
You could question whether or not it's exploiting trauma. If he's getting rich off of telling trauma.
But who originally told this story?
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I understand people who say, well, why are you doing that? Like, why do you?
Where's the balance?
Where's the balance? Or are you like, why you just keep telling these stories about Black women trauma? Like, especially, I guess maybe also because it's coming from a man. I think.
Yeah. But if I can make a point though, wasn't that the same argument they talked about the filmmakers and some of the music, artists and stuff in the 90s, right? When we had Minister Society, when we had what was the other movie, Boys in the Hood, they said, why are we always portraying African Americans in the same, hey, I grew up in Compton, I grew up in a certain part of New York. It was the same thing. But I mean, was it, and I'm trying to remember, I was a lot younger then, but I mean, it didn't just go away, right? what was the resolution? And I don't think there ever was a resolution. I think what people did.
More diversity.
I think it's more diversity. I think ultimately what happened was people accepted like, hey, this is a story that's being told or whatever. At least we got something. And I think a lot of times that's what the answer is. It's like, well, at least we have somebody. Some representation is better than no representation. I think we got to do a better job at that. I think we need accurate representation. I think we need better representation instead of just settling for, well, hey, we got this guy that's doing it. It may not be what we want, but he's somebody. Because I think we settle a lot. I honestly think we settle for what's there instead of what's best.
And I'm gonna be real, y'all. This gonna sound crazy. I like that. But I try to watch that word diversity. Because you know what I noticed about diversity?
What's that?
And this is just my opinion and my experiences. Please don't swell your chest up. But diversity, to me, and depending on where we are and depending on, you know, certain parameters, diversity is just another way of washing out the blackness. Oh, so let's bring in more people. Oh, well, he's brown. He's this, he's that. So that's more similar to you. It's like they always trying to find a equivalency to what we have instead of just saying, okay, well, this is it and that's it.
Can I say something?
No, when I say that, I mean, like, there's more diversity in the types of movies that are out now. Whereas before, there was a concentration of
and I get that, but then again, that's what I'm saying. Now there is a more diverse thing of movies that's out there. We can't say, oh, well, it's just movies about black people. It's just movies about. And I'm gonna bring it back even to the superhero and the animated remakes. Even with the Little Mermaid remake, them people was hot because that girl was black. Them people was hot because that girl was black. Them races came out of everywhere because the Little Mermaid was black.
No, I mean diversity in black filmmakers. You got your Ryan Coogler. You got your what's the dude that was Key and Peele? I keep calling him Key and Peele.
But does that change the story though?
Well, yeah, it does because they tell different types of stories. Like you could have what's Peele? It's Peele, right?
Jordan Peele
doing a horror movie that you know, was it Us?
He did Us. He did Get Out.
Yeah, like those were blockbusters.
Yeah,
Ryan Coogler's killing it. Everything he touches.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Like, are you? Because when I speak about diversity, I'm talking about the diverse culture of black people.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm speaking about.
And that's why I said in my experience, because I work in theater and a lot of the theater in Richmond is strictly white. It's not really no spaces for black theater. That's why I said in my experience, not necessarily, you know, against nothing y'all was saying. I was just saying in my experience because, for example, you know, we are a black theater company. You know what I'm saying? We have a black board. We are a all black entity. And do we have a lot of people that's non-black who I feel like trying to come in and take over our spaces? Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. But because it's not a big black art scene in Richmond, it's not a lot of, you know, I'm not gonna say defense for us because, you know, we hold it down and we do what we can, but I just see how the people sneak in. It's like you have your spaces that y'all can have y'all works and stuff like that, but somehow y'all always find a way to come over here. And it's just it's not equitable for me, and it's not feasible when y'all already have so many spaces y'all occupying. Y'all still want to occupy this space too.
So you're speaking about diversity as a people. He's speaking of diversity as like a different culture. Lanes, like a different culture.
Right.
Like
and that's why I kept on saying in my experience, because I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong. I'm just saying what I've seen in my experience. That's all I was saying.
What are some of the biggest challenges for black theaters?
I'm gonna tell you right now, money.
And money.
And I would also say, I mean, of course, money, because you need money, but also it's representation, because it's not a lot of black theater companies. It's not like we could go and partner with another black theater company and come together and work on a project or produce a play or something. So it's just not a lot of, you know.
Why can't you though?
I mean, we do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's not like we don't have another theater company that,
so,
you know.
And I'm asking because I don't know, right? I'm assuming it's not territorial. Like, why can't I go partner with somebody in Norfolk? Why can't I go partner with somebody in Roanoke?
Oh, no.
Or...
We do stuff like that. Okay. Like, no, we done been in Atlanta. We do stuff.
It's more challenging.
But what I'm saying is, it's just not
as feasible.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I just would say that it's like they don't want us to exist. And the fact that we exist, it just bothers them. So they found a way to...
And this is strictly in Richmond.
I mean, from what I've been... Like I said, from my experiences, from what I've been doing.
So from what I understand is, and I'm not interrogating you.
No, it's fine.
It's not a cop drama.
It's something to talk about.
Right? It's not a cop drama. Is you're saying that money is a barrier, but also the barrier is, I guess, the ability to work with others because it's such a confined and small space.
That's it.
Right? Do you get an influx of people? Because, I mean, I'm assuming that in order to get more, is the word thespians, right? Or what is the word? What's the word you call for actors? I think it's...
Yeah, you can go with that.
Okay,
go with that.
All right, right. That's an $8 word.
I have no dollars for you, but go ahead.
That's fine or whatever. I'll take COD. Do you guys reach out to the youth? Because, like, for instance, I know there's probably plenty of youth programs and things like that too. Because is people a barrier? Do y'all have enough people to maintain these theater productions?
Well, one thing I will say, it's so weird because we have worked with schools before, but it's been like charter schools or private schools. We try to get into the public schools, and then it's not clicking like how we wanted to click. Now, keep in mind, we have done projects with the city. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we have worked with other schools and like private schools and charter schools. We go to the daycares. Of course, we do our advocacy. We bring activities for the kids. So we do all of those type of things. But honestly, y'all, I keep saying this, and I know it sounds crazy, but it is 2026, y'all, but we live in the capital of the Confederacy. And Richmond is so political with every single thing. Even, I'm talking about when I say it's so political, even down to the most smallest, minute thing you can think of, it all just boils down to politics. Mm-hmm. It all boils down to politics. For example, I ran for a school board in 2024. Now, keep in mind, I'm in the theater. This is something I've been doing for years. Mm-hmm. Then everybody that was like, not in my race, but they could have been like the mayoral candidate, one of our senators. All of a sudden now, they have like art or theater in their bios. Mm-hmm. So I'm confused because I'm like, I ain't never even seen y'all at a show. Like I ain't like it's somebody right now, I'm not gonna say their name, but you know, they used to be in a general assembly and now they've been moved up. And they are on the board of one of the most prominent theaters in Richmond. But the only problem I have with that is just 2 years ago, this same prominent theater was like facing bankruptcy, and they raised like $1 million, close to like $2 million. And it's like nobody is even questioning them about their money, their finances, or anything that they're even doing financially. But that's one thing about Richmond. For some reason, they are skilled at giving people who have squandered money, they skilled at just keep giving them money and giving them opportunity. And it's just really crazy.
Do either of you ever feel the need to tailor your work or to try to make it more palatable because of politics?
I don't. I don't.
I got pieces where I edit. If I'm booked for a college gig, right? I try to get information on like what type of event is going to be, what is the demographic, what is the subject matter, is there a particular theme, is profanity allowed? Right, I ask those questions because again, like I don't want to, because I'm coming to somebody else's house, you know, at the end of the day, so I can't just be rah and I step on everybody's toes or in this space, right? I have to be, I'm providing the service and I want to make sure that the service is being, you know, provided correctly. So yeah, like I might just like take out a curse word, you know. When I might edit it, put another word right there, but the message stays black. And I think for me, it's like, that's why you got to find out who's your people as a storyteller, as an artist, right? No matter how many critiques Tyler Perry may have, he has his people. He has a following that people gravitate towards.
He's authentic to his audience.
Yeah, he's authentic. Right. And I think as an artist, especially a black artist, you have to be you gotta understand when to edit yourself, right? But also understand like, nah, this opportunity is not for me. Even if it comes with a bag, as they say, right? You got to be like, you know what? I can walk away from this because if I do this performance, this might hurt my credibility moving forward. Because you want, case in point, I'm not gonna say the school's name, right? But it was a private school that I supposed to have performed for in 2024, I believe. Everything was set up for me to perform and everything like that, and I get a message like the next day or the day before the performance, and pretty much saying like, yeah, like, you know, he worded it real professional and real diplomatic, right? But in a nutshell, he was just saying like, yo, like, the poetry that people have seen on your Instagram and YouTube has grown some concerns, and we would rather not bring you here.
Two black boys,
right? and it's a white school, right? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I know who I'm talking to at the end of the day, right? Yeah. But I know I do have material that can tailor to any audience, right? But
you said you itch.
My wig itching.
But. Now that's a black moment right there. You understand? But I'm just saying in general, right? Yeah. I think you just got to know your people and know when to say, nah, my story is not for this space. And that's hard for black folks, right? Because we make up 13-14% of the population.
You're always in a white space.
You're always in a white space.
In some way, shape, or form.
In some shape
So I'm
or
an
form.
advocate of having more babies, but that's a whole nother thing. But, you know, going back to your authenticity point, you said, you know, your head was itching. I guess, and I'm going back to it, it's like, do you feel the need to filter yourself in your work?
No, I don't. Never. You know? Never.
I could tell.
Never.
I could see that. I could see
Never.
that.
You gonna take it, you gonna leave it. You can love it or you can leave it alone. You can accept it or you can reject it, but you're not gonna disrespect it, and that's it.
And I see both sides of it, because I understand sometimes you have to know who your audience is, but in order to get the real emphasis of the work, to get the, you know, the true feeling of it, it has to come from an authentic place.
Right. Just like your audience, just like you got to know your audience, the audience has to know you.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I'm a black male, you know what I'm saying, locks. I it's nothing about, like, as I've been told, like, I got an intimidating, you know, presence in certain spaces, right? And that's coming from spaces that are not necessarily black, right? So it's like this thing that pops up in my head is when a white organization asks for my services. I'm like, okay, my question is, why are you asking me? Right? Like, what is the goal here, right? And I think we just got to be worried about that as well, because I do think black artists are used to push a white agenda, right? I think that as well. So, well, I ain't gonna say I think that. It's been proven throughout history. Yeah, what you about to say?
I was gonna say this also kind of reminds me of that situation with Trick Daddy and the AKAs last week.
What happened?
So the AKAs had a convention down in Florida,
and they asked Trick Daddy to
they asked Trick Daddy to perform. But
I understand
do
Trick
they
love the
listen to his
kids.
music?
But Trick love the kids.
It don't matter. Trick don't play his music for the kids.
Right.
So that's the difference. Or
old folks too, because half the audience walked out. They stopped the show in the middle of the show, like, oh no, this is too much. But it was like you asked Trick Daddy to
that should have been. But see, that should have been up to the program director, because why would you have an AKA event and invite Trick Daddy?
Because Trick love the kids.
There's no kids in the AKA though.
I'm just saying.
So why do you keep saying
we all God's children?
No, okay, you doing too much. Next question to me. But the fact of the matter is that looks bad on the organization, because that's like me inviting Luke to my grandma's funeral or something. Like what?
Wow, that's kind
like
of extreme.
What? It's like why? It's like it's just I can't understand why. Who thought that was a good idea? to invite Trick Daddy to an AKA event.
And
not trying to be funny because I don't want nobody coming for me. But y'all know AKAs is bougie. Them people is not listening to no Trick Daddy.
Trick Daddy.
You think they listen to
Yeah, I mean, they was in the yard. They was in the yard back in the day.
A few years ago they did. Didn't they break up? A few years ago, didn't they break up an AKA prostitution ring? So yeah, they might be listening to Trick Daddy.
I'm not going to touch that because Trick Daddy sponsors us.
It was up there.
Trick Daddy sponsors us along with the Divine Nine. They all sponsors us.
But even when I look at
sponsors,
like I think even when I look at
what he did tonight,
Kamala Harris, right?
Oh, don't do it.
When
don't
she
do it.
Brought out Megan. She brought out Glows.
And I didn't even see that. Like, what happened?
And the thing is that man, this is a good subject matter, right? And I think it's kind of like diverting from what we originally wanted to talk about, but it kind of ties in, right? But the thing is, I want to talk about far as like how to piggyback on what I say on how black artists are used to push political agendas, right? We know for a fact that, and people are gonna come for me, but I don't care though. But we know for a fact, we know the content of Megan's music and the content of Glows, right? And then you have a black woman, right, who's running for president, whose messaging is in total opposition of what they're rapping about. And it's like, what are we doing? Like we can clearly see that there's a slave master relationship that's happening right now, right? And I think going back to the responsibility of the storyteller or the artist, right? Because we live in a capitalist society, and if somebody
you don't like that word, man.
You don't like that word?
He don't like capitalism like that.
Yeah, no. We live in
it's a flawed system.
It is. It's very flawed, right? Yeah. We live in a capitalist society, right, where we already live and black people already are economically at a despair, right? From a statistic aspect, right? No matter if we have successful black actors, black athletes, as a whole, we are in desperation of a revamp, right? And it's kind of hard for black storytellers to remain true in their blackness when a bag or a check is offered to tap dance.
That's a very great point,
right? Because we come like my family doesn't have a trust fund, or my family doesn't
turn down gigs,
right? Like my family doesn't. My family doesn't necessarily have a pension, right? I don't come from wealth, right? I come from hard work, though. I come from storytellers, right? But I think we got to highlight that as well, like how it's very hard for quote unquote black artists throughout the whole entire industry, right, to remain true in their blackness because they don't want to go back to poverty.
Or just so you were talking about how the theater struggles, for finances. Let's say somebody proposed, hey, we'll get you X amount of dollars, a lot of money, basically, but it would mean that you have to compromise something.
Now, why would you even present a question to me like that? as if money, because now you sound like him with the fictional TV show, as if money gonna make me compromise my legacy and myself. Okay. That's ridiculous.
I mean, that's a question.
How did I get involved in this?
I just want to bring up the fact that our president is a rapist who recruited Kid Rock to come out on tour with him.
That happened.
This seems like a Boondocks episode. I'll be honest with you. That.
So that little, and don't get me wrong, when that little Kamala stunt and all that stuff was going on, honestly, y'all, I was not in front of the TV. So I don't, just like the Trick Daddy thing happened, I wasn't vocal for that. I don't even know what I was doing. I just won't think about that.
Trick love the kids, though.
Yeah, he do. No, he do. Because every year in Miami, he goes to the project and give out tours and presents.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you can stop saying it because we have to know that it's given repetition. But, I just don't, me personally, I would never do that. But I also understand, but I'm the type of person that I understand that money is not everything. When my parents raised me, they had a little coin. So, I done had a little money before. So I'm not, I wouldn't say I don't have the poverty taste in my mouth.
You're not persuaded by money.
You can't really dangle money in front of me and expect me to move because, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. I ain't never went to bed hungry. I might have went to bed with my ass whooped a couple of nights, but I ain't never went to bed hungry. I ain't never went to bed without, and God, I ain't gonna lie, God just blessed me my whole life to the point that I don't know nothing really about struggle.
That's
so
good.
I ain't even gonna sit right here and act like, oh, my parents was doing, because that wouldn't even be true.
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't really asking about you personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm putting like you as the director of the theater. Like you have, you know, and I'm. It's a hypothetical, and it's not really a fair hypothetical, but like just given the context of like your theater needs money, and I'm just wondering like how do you balance, you know, making the money versus staying as true as possible to yourself, keeping the theater open versus staying as true as possible, and if there's ever situations where you need to compromise. And I'll get your answer.
No, to be honest with you, and I know this gonna sound crazy. We it's like we do struggle for money, but somehow the universe always work it out. So we able to pay our venue, pay our actors, so it always works out somehow. I don't know how, it just do.
Okay.
It just do. I ain't gonna make up no magic recipe. I just don't stress, and I don't dwell in stress. So even when I don't know how something's not gonna work out, I just fix my mind to something else and I just let it work out. So that's just what it is.
That's
but the reason why they made me the chairwoman of the organization is because they knew that decisions like that was going to have to be made, and they trust me to preserve the integrity of the organization. Because think about it like this. Yeah, we might need money or we might need resources, but you could take your act to any other theater in the city. Why you want to come here? So you can control us and tell us what we can do and what we can't do. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of that? It's too many other places for you to go off and get your rocks off. What you need to come here for?
No, that's very true.
What do you need to come here for? It's all these other theaters out here. What you need to come here for?
They want to come to you though.
No, they don't want to come to me.
Why wouldn't they want to come
Because
to
if you ain't delivering it hard, I'm going to say, cut. This ain't even right. They got to go.
Oh, understood. I mean, I take my hat off to both you all, because I know being in the realm of the arts, especially today where there's just so much content just being pushed among people, and there's so much quick money to be made. Monetization is like the first thing everybody thinks about when they're creating content or they're getting into the arts is, how can I monetize myself? But I'm glad to see there's people that still do it,
especially in this age of algorithms, determining, you know, how many likes you get. And,
because you guys could tailor, like you said, you could tailor your message based on what venue you're in, but to keep a level of authenticity is refreshing to hear. And the same thing with you, that you're not going to sacrifice just for a coin.
Oh, because I tell you, when we have our meetings and our board meetings and we decide on what we do in the production meetings, I say no. How
many times?
As many times as it takes. I say no.
And it's a complete sentence too, right?
Because no is an answer.
No. That is true. No is a complete sentence. That is.
So I mean, it's no sense in keep going back and forth, because what's the point of compromising your integrity? What's the point of compromising if you're gonna be able to sleep at night?
No, that's true.
What's the point of giving that up?
And I was giving y'all kudos for that, because you don't hear that today. A lot of times what you hear, people may say it, but the act of really doing it is not, it's not stood upon. They will rather fold for $1 than stand on their principles and their morals.
You know what's so crazy?
What's that?
It's people that love me because I'm real, and it's people that hate me because I'm real.
That's the best way to have it, right?
Now, should I stop being real?
It's on you.
I mean,
looking ahead, where do you think, you know, we've talked about how like storytelling has evolved, you know, through film, theater, you know, from the 90s where we had a very select few black movies out to now there's a whole lot, and you know, there's a lot more, I know you don't like the word, but a lot more diversity of a type of black stories that are being told. Like, where do you see, is there another level to be had? Should it get better? How do you see things evolving with, as far as like storytelling, music, whatever, you know?
It's always gonna get better. It's always going to evolve. So? I think it's well, I'm gonna say this is all, because better is that can be perspective as well.
I don't know. I don't know if music is better today than it was.
We're not going,
20 years ago.
It's not, Tamika. Next question.
It's evolved.
That's subjective.
So I would say
music is good.
I'm gonna just leave it at evolve, right? I'm not gonna necessarily say better. It's because, again, like, depending on who you ask, that could be a generational question.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like when I look at Ryan Coogler, right? Ryan Coogler, I seen a post that said, because of Ryan Coogler, I would never code switch ever again. Right? Like, that man shows up with cornrows in his head. Right? I'm talking about cornrows, not no like, I'm talking about black cornrows, right? And on the red carpet. That image within itself is revolutionary, right? Yeah. For music within itself, though, I do think there's a different conversation. It's because I would say mainstream music has taken a deep dive in quality, right? And the reason why I say that is because it's like when we compare, we just talk about the Nas, the Jay-Z's, and we compare this to this generation, there's no real intentional behind the messaging that's going out, right? It's like we just put it on the track and
whatever makes money.
Right? Because at the end of the day, we live in a capitalist society. And sometimes it's not even about what's good, it's about what can be sold. So,
but I feel like that's the same as
for everything, right?
It's the same in Tyler Perry argument. They have their audience. Yeah. And that audience is larger than the audience that they would have if they didn't tailor to that audience. Right. So that's what's driving the art.
And honestly, I would like a study to be done on this though, because we always talk about like the effects of music, right? We always talk about like, because music and media are the two things that doesn't need permission to enter your subconscious. Once you hear it and once you see it, it's already in there, right? So I wonder like the effects of like deep rooted Black trauma with no intention to tell the opposite side of that story. How does that affect the Black psyche in today's world? Because again, we love Tyler Perry. We do. Like I said, I love Tyler Perry, right? But I can also understand that an argument can be made of how this can lead to somebody like, mental illness being, affected in a negative way, right? When we're constantly hitting this trauma button, right? And it's the same for music, right? Money, cars, and clothes, and hoes, and whatever, right? How is this showing up in our youth, in our messaging, and everything like that, right? So you making a lot of facial expressions.
I am because let's be honest, the music that's out today is not better than the music that was out in the past. Why? Because the artists that was out in the past could actually read, comprehend, they had vocabulary.
That's what I was saying.
No, that's what he's saying.
No, I'm just saying, how you gonna have box without knowledge? Like, how you gonna have substance in your music without knowledge? It's a mess. I know you were saying it's gonna get better. I don't think so. You know what I think is happening now? I think what's happening now in art, just life, and just in society as we know it, all the things that we once were taught as part of the old system, and which included under that is the whites. You know how like in print and media and stuff for a while, it was only like the white images of people and stuff like that, and how over time that started to change, and it became more other faces, more shapes, more body sizes. But what I think is happening now is it's just a big break right now in society and everything that we know, because it's getting away from the white power structure, and it's just gonna have to be rebuilt into something else. So it could, I really feel like right now we're at a point of evolution, because what we used to know and what we know now is changing into something else. Yeah. It's like we watching the world change almost. Like, I'm wondering, is this how people felt like after slavery was over and it went through Reconstruction, and they was like, wow, it's really a time change. Like, everything is really changing around. Right. Like, everything is really changing around, and just what I can see, a lot of the societal norms and stuff are really being broken down. That's what I see. Now, I don't know what's going to come of it, but it's definitely a break and a switch and a shift in what we thought we knew or what we was even as what we were accepting at one point.
Because it could be the argument goes, art is an imitation of life, and life is an imitation of art. Like they're kind of like
a good point.
They kind of mirror each other, right? And when I look at, for instance, spoken word within itself, right? I wasn't introduced to spoken word until I was 19 years old, right?
Really?
When I was 19, man. I'm out of high school. Like, I don't even know this thing exists. I know about poetry, right? I know about that. But once I saw, shout out to Roscoe Burnhams and Breeze the Poet, like those were the two poets that I saw when I was 19 years old. And I was like, you could do this with this? Like you could do this with poetry? Oh man, it's up, right? But the point that I'm making is that when we talk about like far as like this evolution stage of like art, I do think society or the problems in society affects how art is created. I do think that. I don't think one of them things is like how art is one of them things like it's separate from society or societal norms. I think like what we prioritize in our lives is what's going to show up in our art.
Okay.
Right. So like,
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
This is a hell of an episode. You gotta have y'all back. You gotta have y'all back. You know, it's hot outside. Experiencing the heat of the night.
Yeah.
But it is one. It was like 90 degrees today. I think it was like 85.
What's up with you?
It's like 87.
87,
Like,
90.
what's up with you?
Close to it though.
Yeah,
I
close
got you.
to it, right?
It was close to it
though, you know.
I like that Raptors jersey too, by the
You
way.
Hey,
good?
thank
I
you,
don't.
man.
You
know,
good?
Yeah, I'm always straight, right? You know, I would just want to say thank y'all for coming, right?
For sure.
Really do appreciate y'all. Y'all know y'all welcome on the show anytime.
And we got to come to about one item a month.
Yeah, one item a month, right? From Resist Booksellers down here in Petersburg,
That's
Virginia.
easy.
Shout out to Modern Man Photography for this lovely setup. I mean, please,
Hey, man,
if you
look.
need anything done,
He got 3 guns shooting at us right
exactly. If you need anything done when it comes to video and photography, please make sure you holler at our brother Kyle over there. Kofi, you got anything, man?
Nope. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. This was a great conversation. And yeah, man, I think it's really fascinating just how much the art form of storytelling itself has just evolved over time. And I'm really looking forward to see what the next generation is going to produce, you know.
Trick love the kids. You gotta understand, Trick love the kids.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Take care.
Like,
Till next time.
subscribe, hit buttons, comments, all that.
All that good stuff.
Peace.
Peace.